Start the
I don't
recording.
know if it could have been changed on my end or not. I don't know.
It most likely was. Okay, can you see the yellow?
It's fine.
Perfect. Okay. Now the problems are like, okay. Now I'm gonna be as real as with you as possible. Okay, because that's I feel like the reason why you're still looking for coaching.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Like, just be as
Okay.
brutal as you
You
can.
you tell me you want to hit Master Challenger. Yes. Um.
If it's achievable, I don't know that, but that's what I want. So that's what I
Well,
want.
I'm not gonna say it's not achievable because I'm not. I believe that anything can happen, right? I think anything is possible, right? But I'm willing to bet that you're not gonna hit it, and you know.
Well, let's start with Diamond then. Let's just Diamond
Yeah,
5.
yeah, yeah. Diamond 5. Now, Diamond 5, I believe you can easily achieve because anyone can get it. It's not difficult. You need to just have some common sense and do some fundamentals. Fundamentals up to Diamond 5. The problem is you're lacking the fundamentals. Now, I'm not too sure what exactly you've been doing for the past 6 years with respects to the game, but you've 100% built habits that have basically given you a kind of a handicap. Now, basically, you're literally playing the game at a low tier level because you're assuming that everyone plays like this, right? Now we can go over. Right now, we need to start breaking the habits. Now, your best option right now is to literally forget about everything you know, and then build from scratch. You can get to diamond in a month, right?
Cool. Let's make it happen.
It's possible. I feel like you're one of the players where like you could run on one spot. You know, you could run on the spot, which it's not like you're getting anywhere, right? So you need to kind of begin to actually pick up the pace and then actually get somewhere with your ranking. Now, let's talk about the game. In this game, I'm assuming there's a number of things you want to now think about. Okay, the first thing, and this comes back to the fundamentals, right? The first thing is minion control. Okay, how do I want to play with the minions? The second thing is trading. How do I want to trade versus the enemy when they use the spell? The third thing is how do I entertain the jungler in all of these two aspects, in the other two aspects, right? These are the 3 main points you have to actually understand. These are the base fundamentals of any lane. Okay? Now, in this case, the advantage is really simple. Now, here I was just testing if I was recording or not, right? So let's just get rid of this. Anyways, now here is really simple. What do you want to do in this lane?
I mean, I feel we're almost against any AP matchup. If you can just shove them in, you're going to get a CS lead because they're not going to be able to farm on the tower that well.
Okay, so immediately as we walk into lane, we should start autoing and queuing the wave, right?
Yeah.
If Viger walks up into us, and Viger tries to hit us with an ability, then these minions, our minions, jump on Viger, which gives us a better trade, despite him using the ability on us, right? Because minion damage is a lot higher in the early stages of the game, because his champion HPs are a lot lower. So here, we just push. There's nothing else to do. We just have to push. Now, immediately, what do you see on the minimap? It's really blurry, and this is kind of what I had to work with. But I made out, for the most part, what was happening. Here, okay. Malphite shows.
Yeah.
So what happens? What happens when Malphite shows?
Yes. What, are we looking at the fact that Trundle started topside, or? Yeah.
So we know that Trundle Trundle did not leash. Like there was no leash on the top side, meaning that.
Yeah.
He's bot side. I'm with you. Okay? Yeah, because bot lane is Mia, right? So, because we know that their Trundle is here, one thing we can do, and now as a mid laner, is immediately, before, at 120, right? At 120, we can place the ward here. And by doing this, it basically denies the level 2 gank. And the level 2 gank can be on champions like Pantheon, Graves, Xin Zhao, Trundle, right? These champions that excel at level 2. That's one thing you can actually do, and then we can basically play right-hand side or left-hand side, depending on how the jungler is playing. We now know that if level 2 doesn't happen, right? So first of all, because there's no ward, we play left-centric, top side, okay?
Yeah.
The reason we do this is because our jungler is in the closest proximity to where we're playing, which would be on the left-hand side of the map. Alternatively, we also have to acknowledge the fact that eventually, because there's no level 2 happening, that he's going to transition to the right-hand side. So when he transitions onto the right-hand side, our jungler will transition to the left-hand side, meaning that we're then again going to play on the closest proximity to where our jungler is, which would be on the right-hand side of the lane. Okay?
So that's just a. Does that just work all of the time? Is that not just exclusive to this game? That's just a
This works.
generic
No,
rule.
this is exclusive. This is literally, it works in any lane.
So if I know that their jungler started bot side, mine started top, just play on the same side as my
Play on,
jungler.
as it, for an easy note, play on the same side. Yeah. Now, when I coach you, I'm not coaching you for this game. This game is irrelevant. You've lost the game. It doesn't matter that you lost the game. It doesn't matter if you won the game, right? I'm coaching you so that you can understand how to play the game at a high level. And this, what I'm going to tell you, will apply to pretty much every single situation. This is basically League is a language, and I'm simply just telling you what the language is. I'm not actually. It's up to you to actually understand, to decipher the certain situations that happen. Okay. I'm not gonna.
That's like such a simple thing about just playing on the same side as my jungler.
Yeah.
But I've never thought about it.
Yeah, it's really simple. And eventually, once you've understood the letters of the language, you can then make the sentences. And the sentences are obviously, they're gonna change. Right now, I'm not gonna sit here and go through every sentence with you, because that's insane, right? But then that's up to you to actually be able to read and understand the game. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, got it totally.
Okay. Here, you don't walk up to him like this. Let's go over this. Now, remember my 3 points I was talking about? Minions, right? Cooldowns,
Yeah.
and then the jungler. We've already discussed the jungler, the minions, and the cooldowns. So he hasn't actually used an ability yet. So there's no reason for us to walk up. If he even if he uses an ability, there's still no reason for us to walk up. What happens if you trade here? What happens?
I take minion aggro.
These two minions jump on you. What also ends up happening?
Well, he's gonna be out of range of my minions, so I'm gonna be a straight disadvantage.
Well, you're gonna lose a trade, but these minions are gonna hit his minions. His minions are gonna hit you. The way's gonna push, which is good for our game plan, but that's irrelevant. Because the point is that these two minions, they're destroying us, and we don't want that. So you can't walk up to this like this. Now, he is a bad player. He doesn't understand this, so he backed up. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay? But this is, once again, you're facing bad players. Now, if you were facing a good player, he would sit here, he would laugh at you, he would give you the Q, or whatever he started, and then he would just back up. These two minions would jump on you, and then he loses maybe like 20% of his health, and then you lose like 40% of your health. He wins the trade.
So on the flip side, I should just be waiting for these people to be doing the bad thing and just punish them for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about punishment. There's no reason to make a play. You're not asked to make any plays. Nobody is asking you to make a play in silver. Nobody is doing that. Nobody's asking you to make crazy plays in platinum or diamond, right?
So I can literally just sit in AFK farm to lit fuck up and punish them for it.
In this elo, yeah. Hell yeah, you can climb with that, right? But don't AFK farm, because once again, then that's not me actually teaching you the language. That's just me giving you a simple.
Over-exaggeration.
Yeah, it's an over-exaggeration, right? Obviously, if he uses, well, let's say he uses, let's say these minions are gone, right? They're dead or whatever. You have your blue minions a little bit closer to you. He walks up to you now, and he uses a Q or something, right? And then you use your Q. Well, then you win the minion. You win the trade, because these three minions, they jump on him. Okay?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Okay. As long as we've covered all of that.
Yeah, happy enough so far.
And once again, look what happens. You took 2 autos, 3 autos, 4 autos. Okay? Right?
Yeah.
You lost the trade. And now immediately, what else do we know? Level 2 didn't happen. That means that we're lucky level 2 didn't happen, because he would have probably killed us or blown flash. We know now that he's over here. So that what that means is we're going to play right side. Really soon, the second Kane comes here as well. Right? Alternatively, we want this wave to bounce back into us so that we can freeze. Now, the reason we want to freeze is because of this distance here. There is a bigger distance from Vargar's tower to this line that I'm drawing in the middle of mid. Right? The reason for this is it gives us more chase potential. And once again, the reason for this is because we have more damage. Right? So, how do we do that? Well, we don't auto him. We don't attack him. We don't do anything. We just hard shove this wave. We just hit the wave. So then, when you hit the wave and these minions jump into his tower, they start attacking Vargar's tower. We then basically, whoops! I just took a picture. Wait up. Okay, I guess we're good. We just basically stay on the outer edges of the lane or the tower range, and we just harass them under tower. But we don't hit the minions. We let the minions bounce back into us. The minions bounce back. That's when we get the freeze. The second we have the freeze, guess where Trundle is? He's finished his clear. And he's looking for something. He's either going to look top or he's going to look mid. Mid is frozen. Well, now he can only go top lane. So now what we do is we ping our top lane back. So what happens then? Once we're safe in mid, top lane is now backed up because he can't do anything. Well then, yeah, maybe he has the option to go to to golems, but that's irrelevant. We're the mid laner. We don't care about that. We can then assume that he's going to recall, and then he's going to be back onto the right hand side.
Yeah.
So... And then eventually we can get a ward here.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah, this game revolves way more around jungle than I ever gave it credit for.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about the jungler, right? And the reason for that is because the jungler is present. Like, he can run around.
Like, I just didn't realize that there was that much impact to the jungle role, though. That, like, you can literally...
Yeah, once again...
Like, construct a laning phase around it.
Yep. Once again, you're moving up. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if you're level 2 and he's level 1... And okay, and when I told you to move up to him with level 2, I meant a lot sooner than what you already did. Right? Which I don't have to go over because you went in a little bit too late. So the second... Now, we can even go... Like, we can talk about this for a second, right? So, like, when I told you to go in, we know that you hit level 2 on the 7th minion. Okay?
Yeah.
On the 7th minion, so meaning once the 7th minion is about to die, we should already be positioning forward. Alright, so watch this. Oops, I actually fast forwarded 30 seconds there. Hold on, you level 1 here? Just wait.
Level 2 here, right?
No, you're level 1 still. It's really blurry, but it's level 1.
I have 2 abilities on cooldown, so I must be level 2.
Seriously? Fucking A. I literally cannot see anything. It's so difficult to see it.
I can literally see the 2 blue.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so it's even before this then. What'd you hit level 1? Okay, even before this, actually. Just a few seconds before this. Okay, right here. You're level 1. This next minion gives you level 2. Immediately.
Okay, yeah.
You can walk up, Q it. Vargar's shit, and the reason you can do this is because Vargar's got, like, really bad. You can Q him, you can W these minions with your ability, you can back up. You can take some minion aggression. It doesn't matter, you have biscuits happening soon. But what this accomplishes is, well, first of all, it gets us a nice trade onto Vargar. Vargar cannot respond because when he does respond with the Q, we dodge and then we W the wave and we back up. Alternatively, what this does is it pushes the wave in. And remember when I was talking about that we want to freeze the lane? By doing this, it'll push the wave and then it'll come back and then it'll freeze into us. So this is something that you can do. Right?
Okay.
So these are things you have to do. And here, you're way too close. Now, you just use your... I mean, it's backup, so it doesn't matter, right? But even if you trade here, these minions jump on you. Even if he's level 1, you take the worst trade. Because what ends up happening now is that you trade here, okay? QW, he goes to, like, this much health. He then hits you with a Q, and you go to, like, this much health. You're still winning the trade. Guess what happens now? You're running away because these minions are hitting you, right? Because Vargar's going to win the extended trades because the minion's auto. And what's going to end up happening is he's going to then chase you down the lane, and then the lane's going to be over here, and then instead of being, like, this much health, you're going to be, like, this much health. And now you're going to be, like, 30% health, whereas he's going to be, like, 60. Right?
Yeah.
So this is stuff you can't do.
Okay.
Make sure you close the door.
I totally...
Okay?
Yeah.
What's wrong? Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay, sorry. Someone came in the room. I apologize. So, basically, at this point, you're just shoving. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? This is so much we've already talked about, and it's only 1 minute and 30 seconds into the VOD. Right?
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, it's actually, like, I can see a lot more than what I could actually in the game.
Yep. This word is fine, but, like, this word's a little bit excessive. You can easily just put the word here. You know what I mean? Like you could easily just put the word over, like here. This is a little excessive. This is fine, but you want to be back in the lane as fast as possible. There's no reason to put the word here. I mean, it's fine, but it's, like, there's no point, you know?
Because one thing I'm definitely guilty of is, like, I don't know, I've got this mindset of, like, wards go in bushes. I'd never put them anywhere.
You don't have to. It doesn't have to go into bushes. They don't actually...
Yeah, I know they don't, but it's just something that's just clicked in me. Like, I never don't put a ward.
He might sweep the ward. He might sweep the bushes. Right? Most people they're more likely to sweep the bushes rather than the actual terrain. Now...
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I know it does make... I know it's stupid, but, like, it's just... Yeah, again, a bad habit, right?
Yeah. So at this point in the lane, we just want to shove the lane back into us. So what do we do in order for the lane to shove back into us? Because we know he's going to auto the wave.
We just do nothing, right?
Nothing. We just wait, right? We literally just wait. Now, we can get a little bit advanced and technical with this. Let's say he uses an ability. Okay. and you're over here, and this minion isn't gonna actually kill you, you can Q him, back up, pull these minions up. This minion dies. This minion dies. These minions then move up. Lane locks over here, inherently pushes into you. You can then pull the minion waves to the south-hand side of the map, which would be in perspective to where Kayn would be eventually if he wasn't taken around the top lane, right? These are like advanced things you can do with the wave.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can just stand next to your minions, and the reason you can do that is because Vigar's going to see a nice opportunity to hit you, and when he does hit you, because this player has absolutely no discipline, he's going to hit the minions while he hits you. And what's going to end up happening is because if these minions go down, then this wave shoves in.
Yeah, which is what we want.
This is what we want, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do. And here, whoa, you're clicking your abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Level up, I always click, yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that. Control. Right?
That just never done it.
You have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to start. You're gonna have to start doing that. Because that is so much reaction time lost. I mean, it doesn't matter in the elo that you're playing, and you could probably do that up until diamond. But I mean, maybe not. Like, it's much easier to make sure you're control clicking the ability. And once again, I don't have to go over this. You see the issue?
I was about to say this queue's terrible because I'm taking like 4 minions in a cannon.
Taking 4 minions. It doesn't matter if you stunned him. It doesn't matter if you did anything. These minions will still hit you harder. He's already gotten the trade off. He doesn't care about you.
Yeah,
right?
Like I can tell by just looking at it. I know it's trash.
So I'm not gonna go over stuff that you already understand. Right?
Okay.
This has been happening the entire lane phase. Right? Like, and at this point it's just random stuff. Like, we lost Flash for a really weird reason. Right? We didn't freeze the wave quick enough, and now the wave's in a really ugly spot. Right? There's only one way to play this game, and it's in the correct way, right? There's no styles in low elo. There's no 2 correct ways to play in low elo. There's only one way. You're either doing it right or you're doing it wrong, right?
Yeah.
So don't get into the habit with people telling you, oh, there's no styles. Like, I've met a lot of idiots who say, oh yeah, but I'm aggressive. It's my style. It's not a thing. That's non-existent. There's only one way. You either are correct in your decision making with the minions, or you're incorrect and you end up dying for it, which in this case you ended up dying, right?
Yeah, so I mean, in this game you have to be both aggressive, passive, and defensive.
Yeah, exactly. There's no such thing as a passive player. There's no such thing as an aggressive player. People who call themselves aggressive and passive are just bad, right?
Yeah, I can see that because you need to be able to like switch it up, right?
Yeah,
like,
it all depends. Because if you're just passive, then I'm assuming you're not abusing any leads, and if you're just aggressive, I'm assuming you're just a monkey. Yeah. Now, one thing I see this a lot. I don't know why you do this as a specific player. You just walk up and you tank the minions, which doesn't make any sense. Just let this reset and have it bounce back. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, alternatively, even if you want this to have a freeze, okay, sure, but you don't have to tank the minions to do that. You just chill here.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
Okay. I mean, this has happened numerous times, and here, if you want to freeze, I don't have to explain how to freeze, right? It's like you're doing it. The mid lane freezes don't last that long. Okay.
Yeah, it's just something I've dragged down from top lane is knowing how to freeze, right?
Yeah. So this is something you can definitely consider, and at this point, you just wait. Just patience. So what are you thinking at this point?
I'm not even sure. Yeah, I can't even remember at this point.
It's literally.
You just tell me just to chill out though, right? Just to
yeah.
Up.
I told you to relax mainly because you were just making so many misplays to the point where you were gonna lose the game if you kept playing like you were, right?
Yeah.
So I just said, you know what, just don't do anything, and your team will actually carry you. We just want to make sure we're making the highest possible decisions in the mid game. And I mean,
yeah.
This happens, right? Like even this right here, which is like look at this,
Yeah, this was disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to go over stuff that you already understand is incorrect, but you need to understand that you need to begin to do the smaller things properly. Alternatively, you're not clicking your champion properly. Your clicks are really bad. You need to start clicking like this, right?
Okay.
And the reason you do this is because one, it's easier it's easier to get from point A to point B with your mouse cursor than it is to get from point C to point D with your mouse. This is closer, right? This is like maybe like a second, whereas this might be 1.5 seconds or something, right? Like I actually don't know the specifics, right? But you get the idea. You know what I mean? What this also does is it keeps your hand warm. So if you ever play sports, well, they tell you to stay on your toes, right? I mean, it depends on the sport, obviously, but this is kind of like staying on your toes when it comes to League. Alternatively, it keeps your range random. I can't draw a perfect circle at all, but it keeps your range. Holy shit! Okay, we don't talk about that. It keeps your range random, so the range is always increasing and decreasing. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So one thing you got to do is go into custom games and then start doing this. You'll get tired a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Alternatively, watch higher elo players and watch how they click their mouse specifically, and how they actually work. I can give you some links after the video, after the VOD, about just some people you can start watching and actually start understanding just the basics of the game, and just copy them.
Okay, sounds good.
It's literally copy paste. There's like no. It doesn't require mechanics. It doesn't require any talent. It just requires copy paste.
Yeah. See, it's just little things like this that like I've literally just never been told and never picked up.
Yeah, and I'm surprised you haven't been told this, because I feel as though many people in League, especially the coaches, are just shit. Like most coaches are just bad. Because they tell you like just weird stuff that, I mean, it might help you in this game, but it's never actually going to help you properly learn the game. Most people are just reading like a script rather than actually teaching somebody the game. And I mean, at this point, like mid game, now this is weird because like the reason I don't really do live VODs with silver players or gold players is because it's really awkward in this elo, because you're not actually playing the game, right? You're playing versus 1v9. You're playing 1v9 versus beginner bots. It's literally what you're doing. And the reason for this is because these players, they click slow, they think slow, they act slow, and they have negative attitude, most of them.
Yeah. That's a fair assumption. Yeah.
There's like absolutely nothing that these players can offer you from a critical standpoint to actually help you improve in the game, right? Therefore, there's no reason to type to them, which we already know. So mid game is really awkward because nobody knows what to do. Everyone is just fucking running around. Everybody's literally running around cluelessly. But the one thing you need to do is make sure you're farming. Okay? Now, obviously, this is something I wouldn't tell this to you if you were like a diamond or a platinum player or a master player, because it's different. It's a different elo. But in silver, bronze, silver, gold, you need to just make sure you're farming minions, right? You need to make sure that if there's a big wave, you're catching it. Okay? You need to make sure that you aren't sharing CS with your allies. Okay? So if you are both mid lane and someone's doing something wrong, okay? And you're making sure that you are making the highest possible decisions to actually get yourself as fed as possible, and always be thinking, okay, how can I get the most gold? Meaning that if there's something here, there's something here, there's something here, go take raptors. If your jungler flames you, it's okay. You've already muted them, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't
that's
matter.
That's what I was going to say about, because I find a lot of my games just divulge into like who can grab the most. You'll have junglers farming lanes and two people in mid and a guy top, and I'm just sat there like, well, what the hell do I farm? Yeah,
exactly. And then you fall behind. Now you can do this through like at least platinum, because the enemy is not gonna, even outside of platinum, even up to like D5 you can do this, or like maybe in mid diamond, because the enemy mid laner doesn't know how to properly catch waves. Now I can give you an example of why you should not worry about anything more advanced than simply just catching the waves. Let's say that let's say you do a slow push bot lane, okay? And Baron is up. Well, if Baron is up and you're pushing bot lane, then the enemy will Baron, right? Because then they have a 4v5 advantage. But who the hell who in gold elo is actually looking at the map, first of all, acknowledging the fact that they have a 4v5 advantage, and then pressing into your jungle or into your lane to actually get that advantage in a team fight? No one's
like, I was about to say, like, I don't feel like that risk's actually apparent.
No one's gonna do it. Baron is still gonna be up. They're still gonna be jerking off in their jungle. They're gonna be like, I don't know what they're gonna be doing. And all you need to do in that case is just recall and then go to Baron. If you were playing in gold, like if you were playing in like diamond or like even like platinum 1 or something, or masters or challenger, this would be an incorrect call, right? And the reason for this is because you can assume that there you don't have the capability of actually doing Baron. I mean, granted, they may do it, right? Because once again, League is a language and everything is different, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying fucking go bot when Baron is up. All I'm saying is weigh your options. Ask yourself, is this team intelligent enough to do Baron? Can I catch the bot wave? Can I get away with this? Because there's things you can get away with in your elo, right? And if you can assume, okay, no, they have a Kaisa and they actually do have someone with brain cells, they might do Baron. I'm not going to go bot lane because then this wave is, even despite me getting tower, it's bad. Likewise, if there's a big wave shoving towards you, send your champion, send the top laner, okay, or send someone with teleport to grab it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a reasonable excuse for me to play with teleport in this elo?
No. Don't play with TP. Don't ever play with teleport in this elo. And the reason for this is because if you just fix your micro, you can just keep killing them. What do you call it? You can just keep killing them, right? With Ignite. Yeah. Alternatively, you're never going to make use of teleport because your supports are never going to ward. Okay, they don't know what wards even do. So you're never going to actually make use of the TP. Not to mention, if you are a player in gold, silver, or even like low plat, and even mid plat, then you're not going to look at the map enough to actually make proper teleports in the lane phase towards bot lane or even mid lane. So it's better off just going Ignite. Until you do hit higher elo. Eventually, yes, teleport is fine. In certain matchups, obviously, right? And yes, even teleport is okay, even if you're like even low elo. Like if you're versus a tank and you have no kill pressure, sure, you can TP. But the reality is, you could probably kill a Maokai top as a Soraka in top lane, in silver gold. You probably could. Alternatively, it's your basics that need to be worked on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot here already that I could be doing.
Right? Like, I don't need to go over any of this, mainly because of the fact that it's just, like, I don't have to go over this specific page when you don't understand the language. Right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm still going to be a little bit lost when it comes to mid game, but if I can just keep catching waves and stay with my team.
Just keep catching waves. That's all you have to do in the elo you're playing at. There's absolutely nothing you have to do. And you don't have to be like amazing. Like you can't like the enemy doesn't have enough potential to actually abuse some things that you do. So you don't have to do everything that I'm telling you. You just have to do a fraction of it and understand it a little bit and acknowledge it. Right?
Yeah, okay.
So like you don't have to answer to everything. Like the enemy doesn't have enough questions to actually give you for you to actually have to answer everything. Other than that, watch higher players. Watch higher level players. I'll link to it after this. But do you have any questions?
No, not really. I think everything's been pretty well covered, to be honest.
Okay. Anyways, obviously we'll keep in touch, right? I want to see your elo grow, and I'm gonna end the session here. I'm gonna stop the recording. But yep, I'll link you right after this.